Hey guys, we're here with Beau from Window Cowboy. Beau, why don't you give us a short little intro here?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, my name is Beau. I started a window cleaning and window tinting service here about a couple years ago. Since then, we're in a couple different locations, and our primary kind of thing is commercial and residential window cleaning, and we also do some window tinting as well for commercial and residential applications.
All
Yeah.
right, can you just briefly kind of share where you were before and after working with us in terms of like revenue and growth and all that stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. So as far as revenue goes, we definitely weren't doing as well as we are now. That's for sure. And as far as lead flow goes, I mean, we were fighting and scrapping for every single lead that would come in. I had gone through several different media companies, several different, whatever you call it, folks that run ads and whatnot. And it was just kind of a battle. And since onboarding with you guys, that was a few months ago now, it's been great. Like we've had a ton of lead flow. Sales have been great. We're able to actually hit our weekly targets. And so as far as growth goes, I now feel confident that I'm able to grow as fast as pretty much all at myself. I'm not worried about lead flow and sales anymore. So that's been huge for sure.
Cool, sounds good. And I guess what did the process kind of look like before you started working with us? Like, what were you doing before? What was going on?
Yeah, so it's actually a kind of a funny story. We actually started out as a door-to-door company, and we did really, really well with door-to-door. We never really ran any ads in the first place, and I'm talking, years back when we first got going, up until maybe 6, 7 months ago. We didn't run a single ad. We were all door-to-door, and then we kind of realized that just because of the high turnover with door-to-door and the training we kind of needed to pivot and find a better way to do things, which kind of made it feel like we were starting our entire business over again. Because marketing, at the end of the day, it's everything. If you don't have the clients coming in, if you don't have the leads, for lack of a better word, you're screwed. So once we kind of figured that out, we tried to start pivoting. And like I said earlier, I mean, it was one person, one company after the next. The communication, between our company and the companies that were running our ads were terrible. I was stressed out all the time. I didn't think that I was going to be able to actually find somebody who actually cared and wanted to invest their time into our business. So, long story short, to kind of circle it back, it was definitely a struggle on the marketing front, once we made that transition from door to door into digital marketing.
Gotcha. Yeah, makes sense. So I guess how's your process kind of changed since working with us? I know that you worked with an agency in the past as well. Like, how did that go? And then how did that kind of change since working with us? Like, what did we do differently? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, sure. The main thing that really changed was, and I could see it right off the bat. And whenever you get on with a new agency, you can't expect perfect results day two, day three. Things need to be rebuilt, right? You have to have some patience, and it's tough sometimes as a business owner. But I was skeptical at first because, like I said, the previous agencies that we used, it was really tough. It was really stressful. The main thing that changed when we onboarded with you guys was just the communication. Like I could, if I had a concern or if I had an idea, whether it was a good one or a dumb one, I've had several of both, right? If I had any kind of concerns and I reached out within like 5 minutes, there was a detailed response. Within 10 minutes, there was a plan. We could talk through it together. I didn't feel like it was my problem anymore. I felt like it was kind of our problem that we could solve together, which is huge. And that's the reason why, like, my plans are growth. I mean, as you know, Ryan, we're going to grow and grow and grow. You and I have had many conversations outside of even ads on the phone about what our plans are. And, you've shown your support there. And with that being said, I wouldn't even think twice about ever using another agency. I want you guys to be successful and I want us to be successful. And I think just due to y'all's nature of just being so responsive and just caring so much, I think that was the main difference that's made me feel so confident.
Cool. Yeah, I love to hear that. Walk me through kind of the time commitment required on your end for our like, collaboration. Like, what responsibilities did you have, and what did we kind of take care of? Like, what was that? What did that look like?
So I might need you to kind of rephrase that question a little bit because my
Okay.
brain, I mean, I might be giving you the wrong answer. My
Yeah.
brain immediately goes to as an owner of a small business where you have 10, 12 employees, there are
Mhm.
so many different things that, I'm
Yeah.
responsible for and so many things that I have to make sure work.
Right, right.
And so me panicking and stressing about lead flow every single day, which I still
Yeah.
do sometimes, but it's just on a different scale now. It's not a good use of my time. And as a small business owner, I'm also an overthinker. And so I overthink pretty much everything. And so you guys, with what you've done in terms of the amount of leads, that we're consistently getting, it's taken that stress and that load, that workload off of me in terms of finding someone else. I was always fine, like, okay, this person will do for now, this agency will do for now. Now I got to work and think and comb the internet and get on a bunch of sales calls that I don't want to be on and try to find the next guy that can do better and then rinse and repeat the process. With you guys, I don't feel like I need to do that anymore. And I'd be lying if I said, there wasn't an off week here or an off week there, but the best part again is the communication. We made a plan, and we came to a resolution. My time commitment now is more so focused on the things that it should be focused on. What's the next idea? How do we shoot the next ad? How can we get people's attention? Where can we grow? Like those are the things can still be stressful, but I'd much rather think about those things and stress about those things as opposed to the whole thing. So you guys have taken a lot off my plate there for sure.
So I guess like we've been working together for about a year, right? Something like
Something like
that.
that, yeah.
Um, Based on the results so far, like where do you see your business in the next like 6 to 12 months?
It's a good question. I'm always really aggressive in terms of like offense and like I'm a dreamer for sure. I'm also I execute too, so I'm not just a dreamer. But in the next 6 months, we have some pretty big plans that you and I've already kind of talked about, and it's now more so about executing them. We definitely want to be in two more locations, which will essentially double our revenue. And then from there, we'll be able to leverage the capital coming in, the cash flow each month to just kind of rinse and repeat. And I mean, I'll take it to 12 months. I'd love to have, six of these, get them really solid, pat them up, make sure our operations, our systems, everything is top notch. And then from there, the sky's kind of the limit. Once you have the capital and you have the resources and, working with you guys, I know that it's conducive, like, you know, this whole process and like our arrangement, I feel like it's very conducive for growth. It's not just like this is what we're doing here, and you have to refigure out everything else along the line. So I have pretty big aspirations, and I'm confident about them the next 6 to 12 to 18 months for sure.
And lastly, what surprised you about our service, right? Like, did you have any misconceptions before starting? Like, did you have any reservations? Like, how did that whole thought process go?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but from the start, I was definitely a little bit skeptical just because of my experiences in the past. But what surprised me off the rip was like how honest you guys were. You guys had never done anything in my industry before, so you were super straight up. I was in kind of a vulnerable spot where I was just kind of like, dude, like, I don't know what to do, So I was thankful to hear you guys say like, hey, we haven't done this before. We're going to give it our best go and we're going to learn as we go, but it's not going to be perfect the first week. It's not going to be perfect the first month, as opposed to other agencies. You get on the phone with them and they're over promising, over promising, over promising, and always under delivering. I feel like you guys kind of made a point to under promise a little bit and then, exceed expectations and, um, and again, just the communication for sure, definitely sets you guys apart. And that's one thing that's super, can't speak for anybody else, but for me, that's super, super important.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Thanks, Bo. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Ryan.